this is Pam coming to you from Stationery Nerd. Today we're going to talk about the Pentalic Traveler Pocket Journal. I've got two different covers. One is a dot grid, one is a ruled, one is gold, one is turquoise. And we're gonna take a look at all the features and give you a peek inside. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, let's start with the gold one, just because I like it so much. So the gold, they're both soft cover, and this is very soft, like soft to the touch. And it's saying that the cover is a soft touch Italian made. I'm sure that it's paper or some type of synthetic material. I don't believe that it's leather. If it is, it's some type of PU leather that is attached to these end papers. The end papers are a creamy off-white color, and then you get right into the paper, which is bright white. This is the ruled version, and then the dot grid I've got in blue. So on the back we have a pocket. The gussets on this are just the paper that the pocket is made out of. So not the fabric or the ribbon that we see in so many. And then of course you've got the elastic closure. The elastic on this it's a little wimpy, but it's not so bad. And then the ribbon on this is extra long. So that's awesome. And then let's just take a close look at that. It is like an off-white gold color, like a soft gold, and that is a satin ribbon. I did a pen test. I'm pretty sure that both of these have the exact same paper. So let's just take a look. So there are 160 pages. And it is 120 GSM in both, which comes out to 74 pound. So that translates, or that calculates out to 120 GSM, which is the same as the paper that you find in the Lemome journals that everybody raves about. So this paper is really good. It's nice and thick. And then the size on these is listed as 8 by 6, but let's just take a look at this and see how it compares to a journal that we know is true A5. So this is the Leuchtturm 1917, and I am actually seeing that it's basically the same size. So we're going to call this true A5. So the measurements on this, what's listed here, are probably not completely accurate, because true A5 is a slightly different measurement. So let's take a look at this ribbon, and I believe it's on both of these. The ribbon is actually attached to the back cover. Whoops. And let me see if I can pull this out. Yeah, so it's attached to the back cover rather than on the spine, which is where you would expect it to be. So I don't know, that might be inconvenient. Just something to keep in mind. The spine on this is, they are signatures that are sewn together, and then you have it glued actually to the cover binding itself. The cover on the gold one, I actually just noticed this because I just did it, but if you see this here, I don't know if you can see that very well. That little scratch right there, I just did that with my nail. So just be aware that this is going to take the marks. Yeah, just ignore that right there, because I actually cut it when that was me. That didn't come like that. However, take a look at where the elastic was on the cover. So there is an indentation there on both the top and the bottom. So the cover is definitely susceptible to dings and marks, and just something to keep in mind if you're the type of person who just throws their notebook, into a backpack, or into your purse. This would be an awesome option to put into, say, a journal cover. And then let's take a look at the specs on this. The end papers are again the same, and you have a gusseted pocket in the back and the same paper, and then the ribbon on this is a turquoise, and it is a satin ribbon like normal. So the cover on this is a light turquoise, and then you can see the difference in the ribbon. So the ribbon coordinates with it, not an exact match. So I don't know, did you guys notice this? So I'm actually going to pull this taut and close it, and so then that's how that ribbon bookmark is going to be when you put it in your book. This elastic seems to be more elasticy, is that a word, than the gold one, and it is in a contrasting color of the orange. So I wish that this had been a blue elastic, or like a blue, this color blue, or this ribbon had been the orange, so it would have been a little bit more color coordinated. So as I said, this is a dot grid, and the dots are, they're okay. They're not super dark and they're not super light, but there's no margin at all on these. Let's count dots. You know, I should probably count dots before I do these videos so that you don't have to watch me counting dots. Okay, first actually, oh, what's going on? I have ink everywhere. My pen died. Help. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, well, you'll be happy to know that the ink in the Papermate Flare is permanent when it gets on your skin, so it looks like ink is going to have to wear off. So threw that pen away, and I've never had a Papermate Flare do that to me, so not sure what was going on. It was fine yesterday. So here's another Papermate Flare. This one looks okay. All right, I'm going to count dots. Okay, we have 29 dots across, 42 dots down, and basically no margin on any of these edges, and that center dot goes all the way to the very center. And I'm actually noticing, just because I just noticed that we're in the middle of the signature where the sewing is, so it looks like these the holes where the sewing goes are actually reinforced in some fashion, which is interesting because I've never seen that before. And Jack has found himself an elastic and he wants to play. So I find that that's a really good thing. I've never seen that before and I like it. And the dots do line up across the page in a straight line, so that's good. All right, let's take a look at the pen test on this. Actually, let's just take a look at the color of the paper first. As I said, it is a white paper, and you can see this is plain copy paper or printer paper, and the color is almost identical. I would actually call that the same. And when you compare that inside to a Leuchtturm 1917, you can see the difference in the color. Very yellow on the Leuchtturm, and then I've got a Scribbles That Matter here, and you can see the difference in color on those three. So if you're looking for a bright white paper, then the Pentalic is a great option for you. Alright, so let me just first go over the cover on this. There are 18 available cover colors in the cover options. And did that make sense? There are 18 color options for covers. Okay. 160 pages, 120 GSM, and it does come in dotted, lined, square, and blank. And I paid $10.95 for this journal. So let's take a look at the pen test. And the pen test, I'm just going to take a peek here because I do have a pen test in both. Okay, so I did a pen test in both of these journals, and I'm just going to cover one because this is the exact same paper and the results are exactly the same. I'm actually going to do this one because there's a little bit extra stuff on this one that I didn't do in the other one. So before we get into this, let's take a look at the pens that I used. This is my complete list of pens except for the Papermate Flare that just died. So a couple of Sharpie liquid highlighters, and I picked these because they're about the wettest highlighter that I have. And then otherwise I just chose a selection of black pens. And I'm not going to go over every single one here, but just know that I did fine liners, gel pens, a fountain pen, and a couple other options. So there is definitely there's another leak. Okay, I am not touching that jar again. And I know there's another leak because look, right here. Okay, so let's take a look and see how the pen test fared. This paper does have a slight coating on it, and it makes writing very smooth, and it also prevents any of the really wet pens from feathering or spreading out on the page or soaking into the page. And I also noticed that the highlighter colors really pop against this paper just because it's so bright white, and it seems to sit on top of the paper instead of soaking in. These three lines here, those are written with a Sharpie marker, and so I wanted to test how the paper fared with an actual marker, which, you know, an alcohol marker is not something that you would use in a bullet journal. So here's a test. What's crazy is look at that Sharpie marker. Holy cow, yes, it bled and at each of the ends, and yes, it ghosts a little bit, but that is pretty impressive for how good the paper actually fared. So otherwise, yes, I did not skip a page. Take a look at that. There's nothing to see here. No ghosting, no bleed through. If I hold it really close and like, yeah, there you can kind of see it, but otherwise no, nothing, which is awesome. Beautiful paper. And then let's take a look just so that we can verify that the dot grid paper is exactly the same. No ghosting at all. And I did not actually measure this, so let me do a quick measurement of the dots. We are at 5 millimeter square on the dots, so that's a standard size. So guys, this is one of my favorite journals, and in fact I had this was one that I was actually going to use as my next journal when I was finished with the one that I was in, but decided to go with another hardcover journal instead. But I definitely want to find a use for this because I love this paper so much, and it is one that I reach for whenever I'm looking for a new journal to start. So great options. This is the Pentalic Traveler Pocket Journal. 18 different colors, dotted, lined, square grid, or blank. So that's all I've got for now. I am going to close this out with a question. Have you tried the Pentalic? What size have you used? Because it does come in a variety of sizes. It comes in this size and then a smaller size, which is a 4x6, so a little bit smaller. And then do you prefer the dot or the ruled? Let me know if you've tried this and how you like it. Anyway, that's all I've got. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure you subscribe. I will talk to you later. Bye.